Hi, I'm Will. This is Jack. We're from Fallow restaurant.
We asked you on Instagram what questions you'd like to ask us, and we're going to hear some of the answers.
Came back
now.
with some corkers.
Ooh.
Absolute classic Heston Blumenthal.
For the restaurant.
White chocolate and caviar.
Eggs and Marmite. That's my absolute favourite. A boiled egg.
Would you say that's unusual, or would you say that's fairly?
I wouldn't say it's normal. I mean, it's umami, right? But I mean, it's just that whole egg, Marmite. Whoa.
Groundbreaking stuff at Fallow restaurant today.
Eggs, Marmite. It actually is eggs. Eggs is like go because it's something that lasts forever. It's just a go-to meal. It's quick, it's easy. Bananas. A little bit of pineapple. Chef's go-to bananas. Ground coffee.
Chef's go-to. Is that chef's bananas? Is that?
Chef banana.
Yeah, nice.
Bananas. Easy, portable,
Lager,
delicious.
IPA, pale ale. Holy Trinity.
Oh, we were actually talking about this the other day because we were talking about because now we've been kind of doing Fallow for about 3 or 4 years.
3 years, yeah.
There's actually a lot of dishes. For me, the one I really want to get back is the pumpkin pie. It was actually our first ever dessert that we did at a pop-up
delicious.
Carousel. So it's very similar. The issue is now we've got our signature dessert, the Chelsea tart. The pumpkin pie one's quite similar. Is there any that we don't want to bring back?
Cereal panna cotta.
Ooh, that was banging.
That was our first pop-up dessert.
It was made like a panna cotta with like malt extract, and then we rolled it in like toasted oats or granola or something.
We wanted it to be like, you know, when you drink the milk at the bottom of a bowl of cereal. We wanted it to be that flavour in a panna cotta. It was all right. It's not making a comeback. Plenty of howlers. Monkfish cheeks.
Oh yeah. With brown crab mayo.
Yeah.
It's split like a baboon's backside.
My absolute favourite book, which actually had a really profound impact, was The Science of Cooking by Harold McGee.
Nerd!
That goes through every ingredient. So like it goes through the whole like eggs and dairy, what makes a mayonnaise, what makes chocolate, how to temper chocolate. It goes through absolutely everything step by step by step. It's still something that I think about now every single time I cook.
I also really love the French Laundry cookbook. A bit like the White Heat, you know, White Heat, French Laundry, one of the first Gordon Ramsay ones. They're all just like sort of those classics that everyone has in their repertoire. You're never going to make the full dish out of the book, but it's quite good for like, you know, an interesting recipe for, you know, artichokes, barragoule or something like that, or, you know, a really interesting butter emulsion sauce, something like that.
What about any old school ones? Larousse?
Well, I got the Escoffier.
Escoffier, classic.
I actually got my dad's copy from when he was at college back in like 1970 something. Escoffier, Repertoire de la Cuisine. Cep powder is just dried ceps. So ceps is quite an expensive premium wild mushroom. You can buy them as dried like little shards, but also you can buy it as dried powder, but it's usually pretty expensive. We don't actually use cep powder, but we do use homegrown Fallow lion's mane dried mushroom powder. We
prefer to just use what we've got, and to be honest, like if you take the bottoms off shiitakes and dry them out, they taste exactly like ceps.
To be honest, you can make the mushroom powder out of anything. I wouldn't go all the way to buy ceps, but even if you dried out button mushrooms and blend them into the powder, they'd be delicious. It's just that process of drying out, getting rid of the moisture and intensifying the mushroom flavour.
Yeah, they say it's quite a meaty mushroom. We get a lot of ideas from just bouncing off, which is a bit unusual. I think you get a lot of chefs who are just like, oh, they've got like a one-track vision or whatever. We don't sort of work like that. We'll say one thing and then Jack will be like, oh, maybe we could do it like this. Then often the day after it's completely different.
So our dynamic actually makes us more creative and drives us more, because it's like, you know, if this was just my restaurant, I'd be like, oh, I've got an idea. This is cool. Yeah, nice. Let's put it on the menu. Whereas like, when there's two of you, like you have to bounce the ideas off, and we can't go on the menu until both of us are happy. Finding someone that we're both happy with usually means that the end result is usually a little bit more refined, a little bit more thought out, and actually goes through the process of being defined a little bit more before it actually gets on the menu, which means the end result, personally, I think is always a little bit better. If you've worked on something for 2 months, you taste it, you're gonna be like, yeah, that's delicious. But then we know that we trust each other's opinion, and that it might not actually be
as good as you think
as good as it can be. It could be better, and it takes another person's view, someone who hasn't been involved with making it, to give that opinion. I know Will gets a lot of inspiration from reading, whereas I'm very different. I'm very much like, for me, going out to eat in other restaurants, like that for me really sparks my thing. It's like, oh, that garnish is really cool. That could work really well with something we're doing, and that's how I get my inspiration massively. Eggs and Marmite.
I hope we will get a sponsorship deal from Marmite here. What head's next, mate?
Deer head.
Wait.
Fallow head. one for all the vegans out there. Well, we recently went hunting and we were talking about deer heads, and the guy said, "Yeah, I can get you." And he said, "But the only reason is I have to split it, but I'll split it with the rifle."
He seemed a bit like a Ray Mears.
Ray Mears 2.0.
Well, yeah, Ray Mears, but like crossed with Jarhead.
Pig head we've done.
Duck head we've done.
Duck head we've done.
Turkey head we
Chicken.
tried. Didn't work.
Chicken we could look at.
Too much gobble gobble on a turkey head.
We could look at a boar.
Yeah, cheeky little boar head. Yeah,
Cheeky little boar, yeah, a bit boar.
We have to shave it or wax it. There really is no limit to the amount of heads that we could.
It's all about the head at Fallow.
Yeah. The problem is that with supermarkets, they've kind of changed the food system for the worse. They put a hell of a lot of pressure on farmers to reduce their prices. They basically make more food wastage through their outdated use by and out of date policies. You need to go to the supermarket. Like, you can't live without it, but when you can get the chance, go to a little local producer, go to a farm shop, go to a butcher, go to a fishmonger.
They've started in some supermarkets to filter in some like ugly veg now. I've seen that.
Yeah, I think like wonky asparagus and stuff like that. The thing is, it's like we often have this debate about like plant-based versus meat-based versus, but basically, you know, what's the point in not eating the steak that was cooked, that was reared like 5 miles away, versus eating a diet of cashew nuts and avocados from India, you know, all year long. Like, there's a lot more air miles attached to that.
Yeah.
Vegans, comment below.
Thanks very much for watching, guys. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment and we'll try and get back to you as quick as we can.
Like and subscribe, guys. We'll be back to answer more questions soon.
See you again soon.